All right. Hey there. Today I want to get personal with you and I want to share some of my approaches to songwriting and music creation and how I do it inside of Studio One. And this is something that I think each one of us out there has a unique way of doing things. And I don't know, I thought I would share the workflow that I typically use when I'm writing a song. And so I've got a couple things loaded up here in Studio One already. Just a drum kit that I don't know if we'll use. And then if you've seen some of my other videos, you'll notice that I gravitate towards this Anna 2 synth. That's something that I find has some really cool sounds. And yeah, that's pretty nice. I don't know. So let's go ahead and start with that. And also, if you've tuned into some of my videos before, you know that I like to use the chord selector. If I come over here, global visibility, chords, and what I can do is just start dropping some bars in there. I don't know. Let's do 3. Let's keep this simple. I'm gonna open this up. I'm also going to make sure that I preview these chords with the Anna 2 that I have loaded. Wow. Yeah. Let's turn that down a little bit. Okay. D minor 7th. Let's put one more chord in there. That sounds weird. Has some merit. Now let's just get random with this. I'm just going to drag these into a random position here. Oops. And set a loop region and let's drag that down in here. Let's maybe bump this up to 100 BPM. Okay, set that loop region again, let's drag it down. Let's lower those. Let's pitch that down a little bit. Select all of them. Oh my God, no. Okay. Wow, that's pretty weird sounding, but you know, why not? Let's duplicate that. And change that color. And let's go do... Let's clear this and let's do an ARP on there. And we're going to go back to our first instance of that. We're going to turn down this cutoff filter. Then we're going to go to our ARP instance of that. And let's search for something different. Yeah, that's cool. And let's automate the cutoff filter on this, which I think we can actually do down here in the macros. Yeah. Gives it some character. Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out here while I'm doing this is that you can see that I keep this music going a lot while I'm writing songs, because typically I am mixing and coming up with different parts all on the fly as I'm going along, because I want to audition each sound with the other sounds. You might find a patch in a synthesizer or a different instrument that sounds amazing just standalone, but if you don't hear it in the context of the song, then that's not doing a lot of good. So you're going to notice that I'm playing this loop here over and over and over again as I am messing around with other instruments. So let's keep going. Okay, that's kind of cool. Let's get this going. Let's duplicate this out, and on Studio One in Windows, all you have to do is select whatever you want to duplicate, then press D. That will automatically paste it to the end of whatever clips you have been working on. So there we go. Let's go ahead and start this over. And we're going to come up here and we're going to record this impact. Don't know if I love that snare, but let's see. Okay, now I just input that in there. Let's go ahead and press Q to quantize that. You can see I'm quantizing that to 16th notes. And let's listen to it here. These are all just the stock songs that come with this atmospheric tech kit within Studio One Impact. Okay, let's get a hi-hat. I don't know, it didn't sound terrible. And the other thing that you'll notice that I do is I go down here and I always set a pre-count typically for my click track. So that leads me in. So if I want to record, what you're going to hear is a count to 4, a 4 count right before I start recording. Okay, so I was trying to do a little bit of different velocity on that. We'll quantize that, clean it up a little bit. Change the pitch on that a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, this is kind of my intro, if you will. Let's change the color of the impact there. I'm going to go and I'm going to now just duplicate the section that has the impact in it because that fleshes out the song a little more. And it lets it sort of build and breathe a little bit to have this little intro part without the drums. And then it builds into that part that has the drums. And we'll go from there. Let's see. Actually, let's listen to this without the click. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this lowest and a 2 synth that I put in, duplicate it, And I'm going to change this to a blue color. I'm going to open that up. What I'm looking for here is a base. Don't know that I'm looking for that ARP. Maybe. Oof, I don't know about that. Actually, I got an issue here. I need to delete this track, and we're gonna get one without the arpeggiator on it. So let's duplicate that. We'll go down here. We're gonna call this bass. We're gonna change it to blue. We're gonna open that up. Bass. No. I don't know, almost electric bass. Let's see what this does. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go be on that track, click my MIDI controller, or my MIDI, get into my MIDI editor, and I'm gonna delete all of these top notes and basically just leave the lowest bass there to resonate out. Now I can do that all the way across here. And we're gonna see what this sounds like, because we just want to get the lowest notes and then we can add some variation from there. But if I delete that and then select all of those, shift, and then arrow down, that's going to drop everything by an octave. And I think I deleted a note in there. Maybe not. Let's see. It's actually sounded pretty cool. It's a little early. Really early. Make that legato. That bass actually sounds pretty cool. Interesting. You know what I think I want to do is, and I can also play this in on the MIDI keyboard if I want to. Yeah, okay, let's select that. We're going to quantize it. And let's get out of here. And what we can do is actually just gonna go ahead and just press G once I have all those clips selected, and that's gonna group those together. And let's just duplicate this out. Just put a repeater on there now. Interesting. So you can see that does some really interesting stuff too. You can mess with the pitch on that. You can mess with the velocity. Now you're moving in semitones here, so you have to be careful with where those are set. Otherwise that can start to sound pretty weird and have some pretty weird movement, but this is almost like the arpeggiator. And so this gives you some really interesting rhythmic feel. And one thing I noticed also that I want to make sure is that I'm getting those drums. Let's see, those drums start there. And 3 will razor blade that. 3 on your keyboard. Let's look at the console view here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to submerge. And we're going to ducking. This is like a side chain compressor almost. If you listen to this, I'm gonna solo this out. You can hear it already, but if I open that up, it ducks that out when that kick drum hits. Okay, now one thing that I need to do is make sure that my my different pads here are set up on different tracks, so I can go back into my console and I can set those on tracks and actually get them set up to where I can put effects on them. So I've got the kick on 1, snare on 2, hat on 3. Okay, so it looks like we might be there. Let's go back here. Okay, so we actually have, there we go. Snare. What do we got going on there? We got some weirdness. Okay, hats, and let's make all of these the same color. That just helps keep things very clean. We'll get this lined up here so we can still see our browser. And let's see. Yeah, we don't need to see that right now necessarily. Right. Okay, I'm going to add an effects channel. A little bit of reverb. Let's go to the effects. Actually, let's go to now. I need to route the snare over there, so I'm gonna put this as a send. Let's see what that. Okay, we got a little bit of weirdness going on with that bass, so I think what I want to do is mix down that to audio. You're gonna see what I did there. I just right clicked on that, mixed it down. That's going to put it into a wave file. Then I can mute this and it will play that. Man, that is really quite unique. Now we're going to hear that snare come in with some of that verb on it. Now I can control that verb, not only with the mix or the wet dry on the actual effect itself, but I can do it right here on the drum verb bus that I have, the effects bus. And you know what else I was hearing here? Hitting that snare right off the bat before it all comes in. Pretty vibey already. Mess with that panning a little bit. Okay, so that is a pretty dang good basis for a song. Let's go up here and select our chords. I'm going to press Alt and drag over, and that's going to make some copies of those. And what I want to do is go with the assumption that I might just be able to rearrange these chords for a bridge. Okay, let's see. Yeah, might work. Let's do this. Move these back. Drag that out to 31. We're going to drag that down. Extend our loop and our drums. And sometimes what I like to do is, like, if this is going to be kind of a chorus or a, I don't know, a break from the verse, I'll go in here and I'll color this something different. Let's go ahead and still drag that down to the arpeggiator too. It's kind of nice with that bass dropping out of there. Let's duplicate that. Oops, I suppose I should get my loop a little further there. feeling I want to change this next one. Or not, I don't know. So, okay, let's go back into here. And one thing I want to do is I want to chop my bass sample that I've got there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way over here, select that, and we're going to duplicate that. And let's hear what that sounds like. Change my time frame here so I can see it in minutes, seconds. Kind of cool. The other thing that I want to do is I want to change all of these. Let's start with this. We're going to just use the arrow key to take that right down to the clap. Rim shot. Clap all day. I can control the pitch and the volume with it from within Impact if I want to, which I do right now. But I do need to set this up to change this to our red. Okay, let's give this a listen. And maybe we don't start with the bass. I don't know. What do you think? Drop me a comment and let me know what you guys think of this. It's kind of different, funky, quick. What would you do? It's almost like a stand-up or like an upright bass. Bring in an Arturia string. I'm going to transpose this up. Okay, let's see what that sounds like in some of this area. That sounds kind of cool. Okay. That sounds pretty nice. Let's hear that. I feel like those need to be over to the right. Maybe they drop out there, why not? Bring that back in there when it comes out of this break. Send some of that to the verb. Let's get rid of those in there. Okay. maybe we just end it with that string. Okay, start it right there. Little pitch bend with the wheel there. I don't know. What do you guys think? I do know that I appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos, to like my videos and subscribe to my channel, and sharing some of your time with me. You know, this was down and dirty making this song. I'm interested in knowing what you guys think. Like I said, this is just some simple tools that we used here on this and some simple techniques, but maybe this will give you some inspiration and you know, kind of open up your eyes and to a different way of doing things. I know that I need that a lot of times, and that I tend to scour the internet looking for this stuff as well that can inspire me and show me some different approaches to things. So yeah, really appreciate it. Like I said, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.